I've learned to love words more and more recently, and one of the words that I'm learning to love right now is the word plain. It comes from the Greek word parrhesia, and it means to speak openly or honestly without any reservation. Jesus says in John 16:25, I'm going to speak to you plainly, but He's going to speak to us plainly about the Father. I love that. I want to speak to you plainly for just a minute. I've been a bit of an affirmation junkie. I don't know if you understand what that means. It means looking consistently all the time in every place for affirmation. The old rock and roller said, I'm looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in all the wrong faces. It's been a lot of restless energy trying to make sure I'm okay and being sure that I'm affirmed in all kinds of directions. And my goal is to learn and understand that the Lord Himself is the source of our affirmation. I love that I would be so affirmed in Him that I literally don't need anything from you. And because I need nothing from you, I can love you and embrace you and give to you and speak to you and quietly live my life in words and work that is not always seeking for something in return. So I'm believing and experiencing new joy in finding the affirmation that there is in the Lord. The word affirmation literally means to be made strong. It's not just a pat on the back. It's to be made strong. I looked at the story of the woman caught in adultery, and the scribes and Pharisees drug her into the courtroom and told everyone how ugly and inappropriate she was, and asked Jesus how He responded. And Jesus said, neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. And I learned affirmation is not merely a sense of a pat on the back or you did everything right, but it's being strengthened. Many times that includes being disciplined and being given instruction and being told how to live without the spirit of condemnation attached to it. I love it. My challenge this morning for me and for you is to live with the affirmation that comes from the Lord. One morning last week I was praying early and being pretty hard on myself, which people that seek affirmation are tending to do. Being pretty hard on myself, and I felt like somehow the Lord just cradled me in His arms and embraced me, and I was shocked by that. It wasn't physical. It wasn't a huge vision. It was just a cradling of my spirit in His arms. And I lay there for a minute and began to think, Lord, you have me. And as I thought about it, I asked the Lord, of what value to you am I in this kind of position? And gently the Lord said, how valuable is your grandson Isaiah to you? He's only 18 months old. And I recognize so often I see myself from my position rather than from His. I want to see the world through His eyes. My prayer for us in these days is that we will know the affirmation that comes from the Lord. That He will make us strong. That He will bring instruction and discipline. And that our lives will be free like they've never been before. To speak, to work, and to love. May God bless us today with the affirmation that comes through Christ Jesus. Thank you for joining us for this brief look at John chapter 8. Spend a little time in verses 1 through 11. And thanks again for being here for Just the Meat and Potatoes.